that's impressed you recently?
I think with Lennon, I've obviously had more chance to watch Lennon. He plays with maturity beyond his years. He captains his club, which is a big thing at such a young age. Good qualities, can play deep in midfield, can play higher in midfield, good delivery, box to box, good energy. Now we have to see if he can fit in among the group, and I'm sure he's got a big future in front of him, and it's our job to look after him and try and bring him along. So hopefully this will be the start of it. And it's similar with James. It's someone who catches your eye, runs behind, he looks to score goals, which is a great trait. We're always looking for goal scorers. He's got a few in the Premier League this year. He's got into the team, he's stayed in the team, which tells you that what we saw. I actually brought him into one of the camps last year. We were short a couple of bodies and brought a couple of young boys into the camp, and James was one of them. Caught our eye, and just in a short training session. He's obviously caught the eye of the people at Hearts. He's playing week in, week out. He's got good pace about him, good enthusiasm. And another one that I think can have a big future, but for now is to come into the squad and see how he measures up.
As well as a look to the future, how encouraging is it to have Kieran Tierney and Lewis Ferguson back?
Always good to get your good players. So both of them very good players. Unlucky with injury, and fingers crossed they can come back and have an injury-free year and help us to stay in the Nations League and qualify for the World Cup. Well, that's the two objectives for the campaign, is to stay in the top flight of the Nations League and qualify for the World Cup.
Well, Lennon and James, has it been interesting at this point to see them come in and see how they react to this environment at such a young age? Yeah,
I think so. It's something that you've always got. When I first came into the job, I looked at the squad we had and I felt they were quite inexperienced. So was to try and give them caps and make them more seasoned international players, and we've done that. Now you get to a stage where I've been in, it's coming up 6 years in the job. Feels longer than that, but it's coming up 6 years. And you have to cast your eye to the future as well, because some of these players will, by a natural wastage, will go over the top, won't be available for the next campaigns after whoever's in charge, but afterwards. So you have to start looking at who you can bring through. We've got some younger ones already in the squad. Billy, obviously Ben Doak had come into the squad and done really well, but not available for this camp. So it's just a matter of trying to get the balance right so we can move forward with a balanced squad.
Do you need to be a special type of talent to really catch the eye at 18 years old?
I think it helps. It definitely helps. But we're always looking. I think it shows as well that we're always looking. We're looking at the younger ones, and sometimes you have to accelerate. Aaron Hickey sort of came from nowhere and became a big part of the squad. Unfortunately out injured, but progressing well, which is good news for everybody, especially Aaron. So you're always looking for those younger ones to come along and do well. And obviously if you're playing in the first team at 16, 17, 18, then you will get an extra look for coaches and scouts. So that's what you have to do.
Did you speak to James, Steve? I just wonder how a young lad who's playing in the Lowland League, Hearts first team to now being called.
No, I haven't spoke to him yet. I'll speak to him when he comes into camp. I'm hoping that he's happy, excited and feeling proud.
And what sort of message do you think this sends to other youngsters out there?
Keep catching the eye, keep playing well, prepare well, train well, work well, and you never know what's round the corner.
It's a competition, Steve, for James with Northern Ireland. His father's from Northern Ireland.
So I believe, yeah.
Does that play into your mind in trying to get capped early then?
No, because I think at under 21 it doesn't really tie them to the country unless they get a multitude of caps. I'd need to check the rules on that one. But no, listen, if he's a good player and he qualifies for other countries, then other countries will be looking at him as well.
Just have the feeling of being a big year for the national team in terms of huge games.
World Cup qualification is always a big year, so come the autumn, those games are massive. We all understand how much everybody in the country wants to go to a World Cup. But before we get there, there's also big games. The players worked ever so hard in the Nations League section. It took us a little bit of time to find our feet in the group, but we finished the group really well, and we want to build on that. We want to stay at the top level. We want to be competitive against the top teams, and to do that, we're going to have to beat a good Greece side over 2 games.
Yeah, just looking at their record, I think they've only lost twice in the last 12 against England and Germany, so they have a habit of winning games, don't they?
No, they're a good team. Good team. Defend well, don't give many goals away. Score goals. Good defensively, can play through the middle. Really good on counter-attack. Their away performances particularly catch the eye. I think any team that goes to Wembley and beats England is always going to catch your eye. So we expect 2 tough games.
In terms of Kevin Nisbet coming back in, I think he's only really caught the eye and started to flow again in the last few weeks. Was that the difference between Kevin and Lawrence Shankland, or could you have chosen both?
I could have chosen both. But obviously Kevin scored a couple of goals recently. Sometimes when a striker starts scoring goals it becomes a habit. So hopefully with Kevin that's the case.
Can you bring us up to speed with the George Hurst situation? Could he still be added to this squad, or is that one for a...
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. There was a delay in the paperwork.
Is that something you'd look to do, having watched him recently?
Well, there's still games to go before we meet up as a squad. There's always the chance of somebody else getting injured. Hopefully not, because I think we've suffered enough for that. But listen, George is somebody that we've had in mind for a few months. I've watched him recently. He's in and out the Ipswich team, played the cup games. Obviously scored against Forest. I think I was spotted on the telly at the game. It didn't take a genius to work out who I was there to watch, because he was the only one that qualifies for Scotland who was on the pitch. So, he's a player that would help to give us more depth to that position if we can do it.
You brought also Liam Kelly back in the squad again. And Kieran, what was the situation with Angus Gunn?
Injured.
He's injured again.
Injured. He's tweaked his hamstring, so he's going to be out for 2 or 3 weeks, I think. So that's the situation there. Looking at the backup goalkeepers to Craig, the choice wasn't great, if I'm being honest, because most of them don't play. But Liam's had some recent football at Rangers when Jack Buckland was out injured, and I thought he did very well, so he deserves his place back in the squad. I've started looking down a little bit at younger goalkeepers. Kieran came into the squad in November, trained well, worked well. He's not playing at Ipswich, but he's a young one, so one that I'll keep in and around the squad, and he's good around the group. So.
It's going to take something to move Craig Gordon out of the way, though, isn't it? Even though we're 42 years of age.
Well, if he keeps doing what he's doing, he'll be in my squad.
Steve, how important, not just for kind of retention of the top tier in the Nations League as this Greece playoff match, but also looking ahead to the World Cup qualifiers? Obviously we'll get to know each other a little bit better. Both teams will know each other a little bit better before we get to the games in the autumn. But for now, it's just to concentrate on the objective, which is to get the right results against Greece and stay in the top flight.
Just how much are you looking forward to getting the squad back together? I know it's a long period between the last camp.
Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be nice to get the boots on and get on the grass again and do a little bit of work, catch up with the players face to face rather than over the phone.
Take some written questions now, if that's okay. Thanks for watching.
Steve,